All right. So back in whenever that was, March or April, kind of did a session to talk about some gear philosophies, going lighter weight, what you should kind of think about everything you put in your pack. I thought it would be good to get together again since we've been out in Philmont. We tried some gear out. I've scuttled some stuff that I bought and replaced it with some other things I found it didn't really work like I thought they were going to, or some things that would work a little bit better, I think. We were only out there for a week, but we were cooking the exact same way you guys are cooking, eating the same stuff you guys will be eating, that we'll be eating out there as crews. So thought it would be good, especially since it's getting close to the holidays, and I know some of you are probably going to get some backpacking stuff for Christmas and all that, so a good time for stocking stuffers, major purchases, or this and that. 'Cause I know a lot of you haven't got, most of you haven't got everything. How many scouts have gotten everything that they need to go to Philmont? Yeah. So I think Alex probably has most of his stuff, a few tweaks, maybe Justin, maybe Gage, but that's probably about it. So I thought it would be good to go through in detail. So what we're going to do, I was going to get Brian to bring his stuff, but he's almost got the same stuff that I've got, so it wouldn't do any good as far as gear makeup to show you what, duplicates of what two people have. So I asked Mr. Miller to bring his gear, his backpacking stuff packed. I brought mine, so we've got some similar gear, but I think enough diversity there to give you some different ideas. So kind of the idea is to go through and show you what you need, not necessarily the brand model you need to buy, but give you an idea of what you're going to need as far as pretty much a complete kit. I got everything here I need, except for I don't have a camera and I don't have a small battery charger for my phone, and that's really it that I don't have. So I've got everything in here that I need. So I'm just going to start going through, and Mr. Miller may have to scramble a little bit because his pack probably is a pack like mine is. But I'm just going to go through from like the outside in and show you what I've got, and go from there. Kind of describe what your options are there, maybe on some different gear. So I just brought my stuff that I'm going to wear. This is what we're going to be there. We're going to travel on Wednesday the 28th. Our trek doesn't start officially until July the 1st. Our first Philmont day is June 30th, so we'll go to Philmont on the 29th. So you're going to need a couple of days of street clothes, 3 days of street clothes probably, so 28th, 29th, 30th. We won't be doing any hiking on the 30th and backpacking. Our backcountry piece of this starts on July the 1st. We're going to go out there 2 or 3 days early. We learned real quick, just running around base camp at 6,700 feet, is the more days you're out there to get acclimated at that altitude, the better. By the time we got back on Friday, it was no big deal to run around more than what we ran around on the first day we got there. So we're going to go out somewhere, Colorado Springs, New Mexico, to be determined on Wednesday, so we need close Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday run around. But these are my clothes I'll have packed to put on Saturday morning, whatever the first is. I think that's a Saturday morning, on the trail. So these are my socks. I'm wearing ankle socks. These are the shoes I'm wearing. They're low cut. Mr. Miller is taking a sock liner and some full leather upper hiking boot. Those are fantastic. These work really well for me. I think Mr. Inman is going to wear some low cut hikers. I wouldn't recommend trail runners because the trails out there are very rocky, very rough. So you need something with a substantial footbed on it to keep you from getting stone bruises. You get a stone bruise on day 2 out there, you're in the world, or you're going to the infirmary. So you need something sturdy as far as your footwear goes. And again, this is stuff that I'm taking, Mr. Miller's taking. These things are individual. So we're just trying to give you some ideas on specifics on what you need, brand, model, whatever. It's going to be different. So this is what a pair of quarter-length socks. We'll probably have crew wicking type shirts, but a wicking shirt, trekking pants, backpacking pants, hiking pants, whatever you want to call them, with zip-off legs is going to be your best bet. You have to have pants. Depending on what trek we're going on, you might not need pants. More than likely, you're going to come to some program activity where you're going to need pants, or at least want them. And you will need pants to do the conservation project, which we will be doing. We have a 3.5 hour conservation project on some day, been on our trek, you're either wearing your rain pants, which if you've ever worn rain pants for very long, they're very hot. So probably going to be doing a conservation project where you're going to be sweating. So you got to wear long pants. That's a rule for that. Spar pole climbing, horseback riding, a number of other programs make you wear pants. These are also really good for chilly mornings. And we'll talk about weather here in a little bit. But I really like these. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about specific models and brands, but these are REI brand, and they're Sahara model pants. The reason I really like these is that the pants zip completely off, vertical and horizontal. They'll zip all the way up, and so you can stand up and take your pant legs off, and you don't have to roll them over your muddy boots or dusty boots or whatever. And gives you an option there where you don't have to do that. Woody, Mr. Woods, has a little bit different. He's kind of a backwoods fashionista. If you've seen some pictures of his get-ups at Lover's Leap, that's right. But the past couple times we've been, he unzips his pant legs and lets them drop like gators to his feet.
Stuff them in my sock?
Yeah, stuff them in his socks, just whatever suits his need. That's fine too. So that keeps you from taking those off. So, and compression underwear. Don't forget those, or you wish you had them. Trust me. And a wide brimmed hat. You're going to need something like this. You don't have to get a Tilly hat. Outdoor Research makes some. There's a ton of them, from cheap $10 to this is. If you buy it new, this is replaced. You have a lifetime warranty. This is like $80. You certainly probably don't want to buy that for a scout because their head's growing. But you need something that's wide brim. The reason is it protects your neck and it protects your ears. Sun's really serious out there, and you're going to be putting on sunscreen anyway. But you need something that goes all the way around your head. You can get some of them that I know Mr. Easley has one that has a Gore-Tex liner in it, so he'll be a little warmer, but he can it gets rain on his head, and he doesn't have to worry about his head again. Okay, hang on.
I prefer a high top boot. That's just me. That's just my personal preference. Low tops are just fine. I've got a pair of those too. This is generally what I would do a long distance hike in. These are kind of old school. They're full leather. Brian's got a pair that have the synthetic stuff with them, and they're a bit lighter. But that's kind of, the boot is really what fits your foot the best. I like this brand. Oboes are fine. That's what Jamie and I have and Brian have as far as low tops. But you've got to look at what fits your foot the best. The brand really isn't as important as sturdy and fit. That's the most important.
And don't even go in and, please don't go to Backpacker Magazine and take one of their editor's choice and say, I got to have this. I've done that before. I end up with blisters about the size of a $50 on my heels because I thought they fit okay in a store. Pushed them out on the trail, they got wet, and it was a horrible situation. It was just a day. I was hiking out the next day, suck it up, move on. But you do that on day 2 at Philmont, you're going to the infirmary again, and you're taking 2 or 3 or 4 days off your hike, which you don't want to do.
I did the exact same thing, and I had 3 toenails that were black for about 6 months. So, just because Backpacker Magazine, I like Backpacker Magazine, says it's great, doesn't mean that it's the best for your foot. So you need to try on half a dozen pair of boots, wear out the salespeople. They're getting paid to be there, and get the boot that fits and feels right for your foot. Most places like REI will have like a little rock thing in the store that you can climb around on a little bit. Test that out. Use that. Wear it out. Make sure that boot. They'll let you walk around the store in them. And at home, when you get them home, wear them in the house and around the house. Mom may not think that's too great, but try to keep black marks off the kitchen floor. But wear it around the house for, when you get home from school for an hour, take them off, come back home the next day, wear them around the house for another hour. Make sure that they really fit your foot well, and that you don't get any hot spots or any sort of red spots on your feet. I tend to like a sock liner. They turn red because I wear a red sock, not for any other reason. These happen to be silk. There's also synthetics that are available. So I wear a sock liner next to my foot, and then I tend to like a pretty thick rag wool sock. These are Wigwam brand over that, and then I put my foot in the boot. Smart Wool works well. Darn Tough is a good sock. You know, wool is, you know, I think as far as I'm concerned, the best sock you can get. So you want something with wool in it that helps wick the moisture away, and it will help protect your foot really well. Thing to remember about your socks is you're going to wear a pair of socks for about 3 to 4 days if you carry if you take 3 pair of socks. Jamie may take only 2 pair, I'm not sure. But you can wash them there. I'm probably going to carry 2 and wear 1 of this kind of sock. So again, it's personal preference, what fits your foot the best. And you may think about sock while you're trying on your boots, because you don't want to buy a boot too small and then buy a super thick sock and it doesn't fit very comfortably. That's my take on socks.
And don't skimp on socks.
Oh no!
Please don't go to Walmart and buy a 6-pack of tube socks, for God's sakes. I mean, you should expect to pay at minimum, and that's probably on sale, $10 for a good pair of synthetic blend socks. Probably a better sock, upwards of 20. It'd be the best investment you make. You go buy a $200 pair of boots and you put in some cheap, almost 100% cotton socks. You might as well just wear Crocs and hike in those, because you're going to get blisters. Because the more moisture your foot retains, the more pliable the skin gets. Have you ever gotten out of a pool and seen your foot all wrinkled? That's absorbing all that moisture, right? You don't want the moisture next to your skin. You want wicking socks to take that moisture. Everybody's foot sweats. You get a pair of Gore-Tex boots or waterproof boots, they're not going to breathe as well. Big debate, hiker community, Gore-Tex or not. I like Gore-Tex. I like a waterproof boot, so your foot's going to sweat. So you need something to wick that moisture away. So buy good socks, 2, 3 pair of good socks. I've gone through, I don't know, I like Darn Tough. These are Smart Wool that I'm wearing. Just depends on your preference, and I'm really picky. The Darn Tough socks are probably 2 millimeters thicker than these Smart Wools that I've got on. I just don't like the feel of those as well as I do these that I've got on. So it's really a personal preference. You try them on with your footwear.
For life.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the most important piece of equipment you're going to buy are boots and socks. You know, if you want to go cheap on something, you know, buy a cheap hat. But don't skimp on the boots and the socks, because that's really the most important piece of equipment. The second most important piece of equipment is probably your compression underwear, because you don't want to chafe out there either. It is dry. It's a lot drier than it is here. It's very humid here in Missouri. Out there it's a lot drier, but you definitely don't want to do that. This stuff here came from Kohl's. Works just fine. I didn't have to go spend a ton of money on that. So I went to Kohl's. These are Adidas. You got Under Armour. Either one of those 2 things will work just fine. As far as I'm concerned, cotton is the last thing you want to bring out there. The only thing I bring out that's actually cotton is a bandana, and I bring 3 or 4 of these because I use it to wipe the sweat off. I sweat a lot when I hike, and that's the only cotton I actually carry. The shirt, this is a wool blend shirt. Brian and I kind of got onto these and like these a lot, but they're very expensive, so I don't know that I'm not necessarily recommending them, but I do like them a lot. And the pants, this is pre-Sahara REI pants. I've had these now for 7 years, and fortunately I haven't gained too much weight, and I can still wear them, and they work just fine. They wear like iron, but you do want the things that zip off down the side for sure, and around the leg. I hike pretty hot most of the time, so I can't hardly keep the long pants on to even start a hike, so I got to get those off pretty quick.
Columbia makes a pair of those too,
yeah,
that zip off. Columbia and REI are the 2 that are.
Wherever you can get it, the least expensive is what you want.
And what you'll find with the weather out there, you'll want those in the evenings. As soon as the sun goes down, the temperature drops about 15 degrees pretty rapidly, and so you're scrambling for layers put on. And let's wait on the rest.
Wait on the rest. Okay.
So, camp shoes. You're going to be asked, where are your camp shoes? Because Philmont wants you to have a pair of shoes to wear in camp. One, to let your feet breathe It's a good idea even at a lunch break to take your hiking footwear and your socks off, put on your camp shoes, let your feet breathe, let your socks dry out just a little bit. They won't get completely dry, but they'll get a little bit drier. And the second reason they want those is to lower impact on their camps. Have you ever seen any place that scouts go, it just gets used and not necessarily abused, it just gets used a lot. There's 25,000 people going through the ranch at any point in time over the summer, total, over the summer. Probably 1,000, 1,500 in the backcountry at any point in time. And so the campsites get used quite a bit. If you've ever been to a scout camp, you know, all the vegetation is just dirt, and that's the way it does there. So they try to keep the impact as low as possible. You're walking around with heavy lug soles on your boots or hiking footwear or whatever, that is more of an impact on it. They want you to, wear something, something like this. These are, I don't know what these are called now, Sacones. They're really lightweight and they fit really well, almost like a slipper. They're not bad. They're like, I don't know, 25 bucks, something like that, 25, 30 bucks, really lightweight. Mr. Miller has some Vivo,
Vivo
barefoot something. They're made for like minimalist running.
yeah.
Those are a little lighter than these. If you got a really super lightweight pair of running shoes, probably something like Lawless or Milo has on, probably a little bit heavy, maybe even. Because again, you're going to want to really be concerned about weight. And those things, you might take those off and wear them to program. Maybe you're probably just going to get used to wearing your hiking boots and wear those everywhere except for right around camp when you go to bed. So don't spend a ton of money on those. Go as lightweight as you can. Crocs are okay. Those will work. What are those? Sanooks. Knockoff things. You can get those at Target, Walmart, and other places.
They do have to be closed-toed.
Yeah, gotta be closed-toed.
Can't be an open-toed shoe, so don't even bring flip-flops, any kind of sandal, that kind of thing, when something's
The only reason you should be bringing any kind of open-toed shoes to shower in, and those will be left at base in case.
These ones you can get wet on.
Yeah, right. You can use it for water crossings too. Good point. You don't have a ton of water crossings you've got to do that you can't hop across on a rock or log or something like that. But if it rains, a lot of those things are going to be impassable with just your boots on. They're going to get up above your ankles, so we don't want to get our boots wet. So if you have to do water crossings, you take those off, and these will dry out. Take a little bit longer for some tennis shoes to dry out, but that's what you got, and that's what you're going to take, and that's okay too. But yeah, you wear those third thing for wearing the water crossings. Good call, Winnie. So rain gear. Again, you see the kind of things that's on the back of my pack. When you're starting to pack stuff, you don't want to have your rain gear down the bottom of your pack, right? You want to have the rain gear accessible either on top. You've got a mesh pocket like I do. It's the ideal place to put it. Cannot be a poncho. Can't be a poncho. It does not work at Philmont very well at all. Ponchos don't really work well except for sitting. So you want a pair of rain pants and a really good rain jacket. You might not even wear the rain pants. Maybe. Depends on the weather. Depends on how much rain we get when we're out there. It's going to rain. It rained on us in the fall. Not much, but it did. I think I put my rain jacket on maybe once for 20 minutes. I use my pack carrier a lot though. So if you're going to skip on anything as far as the rainwear goes, do it on the pants. Get a good rain jacket. The reason you want to get a better rain jacket is because whenever you put the rain jacket on, you're going to be wearing your backpack on over it. And your backpack's kind of abrasive. You're moving a lot, and if you get, frog togs are okay. I would suggest getting a pair of frog tog pants, maybe. Because you're probably not going to wear those a lot anyway. And then a good, doesn't necessarily have to be Gore-Tex. For God's sakes, don't buy a PVC type of a vinyl thing at Walmart. Those things are so ungodly hot. If you want something to warm you really up really quick, do that. But those weigh about 2 pounds a piece. Don't get something like that. Get something that has E-Vent in it, or Gore-Tex, or there's a bunch of proprietary stuff from Columbia, this and that. But you want to make sure you have a good rain jacket. Don't skimp on your rain jacket. Make sure it's a good one, because you'll use that. I guarantee it'll get used probably multiple days at Philmont. So make sure you get a good rain jacket. It's a good idea to put it in some kind of a stuff sack, just to keep it all together, throw it in the back, and also keep it, I've got mine in the back of my pack. You're going to lean this pack up against trees and pack lines and all that stuff. Might get snagged on branches. Good idea to have something to protect it.
I'm going to tell you what not to buy. These are Frog Tog Ultralights. I don't recommend them. The pants, there's no way I could backpack in them or hike in them. They just don't fit well enough. I'm not very tall. They're much too long for me, and the waistband isn't tight enough. And there's no drawstring or anything. It's elastic. These are cheap. They're about 20 bucks for the set, but they're not going to be adequate for you. So I won't recommend these. When we're going out, monsoon season will have started about the time we get there, give or take. And so there, you have the potential of it raining, usually late afternoon, almost every day. You could get more, you could get less. It just depends.
Don't get all freaked out by the term monsoon season. You'll hear that some. It's not like Central America monsoon season where it starts raining and it doesn't stop for 6, 8 weeks or 2 months. Their monsoon season is, you can usually expect some brief thunderstorms in the afternoon. Some crews get rained on every day. Programs don't stop because of the rain. That's another reason to buy a good rain jacket and some decent rain pants. It's going to suck it up, and we go. You still got to get from point A to point B. Just because it's raining doesn't mean we're not hiking or we're not doing programs. Some programs will get postponed or shifted or maybe even canceled because of rain, but they really only shut down things as far as programs and everything because of severe weather, lightning. So make sure you have a good set of rain gear that you're comfortable wearing for a long time. Along the lines of the rain gear pack cover, this is a really lightweight one. It's made by Z-Packs. If you buy a pack from Osprey or any other of the mainline manufacturers, a lot of times they will have a rain cover built into it, even sewn into the bottom where you won't lose it. I would suggest if you're buying an Osprey pack, I can't remember some of the Gregory, some of the rest of them, or an REI pack, if they make a pack cover, especially specific to that model, go ahead and buy that because it's going to be much better fitting. That would be my recommendation. This is a generic pack cover. Fits these Z-Packs just fine. If it's Alex has one, he has a pack just like that. So
this is the REI version of that. You can buy it at REI. This is a 65-liter pack. This is a 60. It says it covers 60 liters. It works just fine.
Guarantee you use your pack cover probably every day. You see pictures of crews, it's absolutely clear blue sky, sun shining. They got pack covers on. I was like, well, why they got the pack covers on? Well, we found that out when we went out there in September. It's like, well, it's going to rain for about 5 minutes, and it's just a hassle to take the pack cover on and off, and so you just leave it on and hike. You're carrying it one way or the other, so it doesn't really matter taking it on or off. I've got a pack towel that I take just to clean up with a little bit. Bandana works just fine.
Bandanas work, yeah.
And this is a really lightweight one from Sea to Summit. Sea to Summit is a really good brand for lightweight stuff. They really concentrate on making things durable, sturdy, lightweight, and fairly reasonable. I'm gonna say they're cheap, but they're reasonable. And this weighs like, I don't know, an ounce, 2, maybe something like that. And so you can strap this onto the back of your pack, let it dry out. I just wad that up in there. You know, if you want to get something out of a stream and cool yourself off, or take a bandana bath real quick, whatever. That works. That's probably about all you're going to get day to day. Might have 2 opportunities to take a shower. That's about it.
They do have shower houses out there at some of the camps. Depending on our trek, will determine whether you actually get to take a shower or not. When I went 30-some-odd years ago, I have in a little diary I kept that I took 2 showers. I don't remember taking any showers, but I did. I'm sure what I carried was a standard terry cloth towel that I stole from the bathroom at home. That don't bring one of those. They don't pack very tightly or anything like that. REI makes similar type towels. I carry 2. This is sort of a luxury thing for me. I like one for all of me and then one for my feet because I know what those shower floors are like, and so I like something a little separate for that. Because if I end up getting to take 2 showers, I don't want to take something that I had on the floor and now wipe my face with it. So I carry a small one for my feet and a little larger one for the rest of me.
You know, there's some of the treks. I looked at one that looks interesting, probably a little bit too much mileage for our 2 crews maybe, but it's like 90 miles, which is not a huge mileage. It's up there. But you have opportunities to take showers, but you're passing through a staff camp. Who wants to take a shower 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you're passing through the staff camp, 75 miles away? What's the point? Whatever. you can't. So, it's kind of, we were out there for 6 days. Now, granted, it was a little cooler at some points. Sometimes it got up to like 80 degrees, but we didn't take a shower all week. Whatever, kind of grimy, but take some things I'll get to later on, and it'll all work out. It'll be fine. Everybody stinks. Everybody's dirty. So something to sit on. Mr. Miller's got something a little different. Mr. Haberberger turned me on to this. I think he actually donated this to my kid because, I don't know, something for him or something. But anyway, just because I'm a nice guy, I guess. But it's an REI sit pad. Weighs, I can read, about 4 ounces. Not bad. It's kind of a luxury thing. Yeah, take it not. That's about, what, 2, 3, something like that.
You will want something to sit on in camp.
And so to
get your feet off the
older
ground.
rear ends are typically a little bit more sensitive than your younger rear ends and lighter weight, but it's still going to be comfortable. Mr. Haberberger takes about 1 pound and some odd ounces chair, and a couple of other ones have it. Mr. Inman had one, I think. I didn't take one, and my back kind of hurts whenever I don't sit, but I didn't have any problems all week, so I'm not taking that chair. I've had Mr. Miller treat me like I'm in Narcotics or Alcoholics Anonymous. If I try to buy one out of Philmont, don't let me do that. Don't let me take it. I've spent too much money.
What was the one the guide had?
It's
something river, Crazy River,
Crazy Creek. Yeah. And so that's just a thing. It sits on the ground. It's got 2 straps. It's got a thing in the
it's like
back.
a stadium chair, but it just sits on the ground.
And so almost all the staff members, backcountry rangers at Philmont have those.
And it doesn't pack well.
No, it doesn't pack well. It's big and bulky. You put it on the back of your pack. It weighs about almost 2 pounds. But if I were working out there over the summer, you bet I'd have one of those or one of those expensive lightweight Helix chairs or something to put my back up against. There's plenty of trees. Almost all the campsites have a log, something. You're getting your butt dirty. Guess what? You're going to be dusty. I mean, it just, get your mind around. You're not going to be clean for 2 weeks almost up there. Okay. So if you're a take 3 shower a day type of dude, suck it up, get over it. You're not going to be doing that up there. Yeah, your hair's not going to be coiffed all the time. You might as well just all get a haircut like I've got and let it grow back, because it's low maintenance, easy at Philmont. So you might want something to set on. This blows up to about 2 inches, really nice. That's a closed cell foam, probably more than adequate for your skinny little rear ends. Compresses down a little bit too much for me. This did work out really well. I've got one like that, but I think I'm probably going to sacrifice the extra ounce or 2, which is a big deal for me, and carry that.
I sit on this one, but I also use this under my feet in my tent when I sleep at night, because my pad, which is the same material, just bigger, is only 3/4 length, so it only comes down to my knees. So this I can rest my heels on, which keeps them from getting sore if they're going to get sore. The bag I had custom made. They don't come with a bag. I had somebody make this for me, so, which I can give you that name if you need something like that. This is called
Philmont Zebra.
Seat.
Okay. I'm going to get moving. We got 15 minutes. I'm going to get my packet. No, I did it too. So a cup, maybe, if you don't want to drink out of your water bottles. Sometimes it is nice. We might have an opportunity to have some hot cocoa in the evenings, maybe. There might be some staff camps where they can give you some things. This is a titanium cup. Hey, we're not supposed to be bouncing balls in here. This is a titanium cup. I think I've had this forever. It's probably about $10-12, something like that. You can get a plastic cup. Don't get something that's going to bend and break. So you're going to get it stuffed in your pack. And if it's malleable, it's probably going to be breakable. So something sturdy, a Lexan, some kind of a cup like that, or a sturdy water bottle to put stuff in.
I don't carry a cup. I drink right out of a. That's why I carry a water bottle. The Nalgene. It's got a wide mouth on it, so I can drink out of it.
So water containers. We had this discussion about the Nalgene 1 liters versus these Platypus, or Evernew makes some, these soft bottles. Remember, it saves you a pound. So I wouldn't pack one Nalgene maybe to drink out of. I think we've even got Mr. Easley converted over to some soft bottles possibly, which is difficult. But he's not even here to defend himself. That's okay. But these soft bottles, they pack up like this. Take 4 of them. I still use a hydration tube just because I like to drape that over my pack shoulder, and I can sip throughout the day. But it's really important to have individual water containers. I really don't want to see anybody in either crew have a big platypus water bladder, because we can't tell how much you're drinking. That's the first question anybody's going to ask you, either from an adult leadership standpoint, or first aid initial assessment, or a staff member or somebody at the infirmary. They're going to ask you, how much water have you had to drink today? Dehydration is the #1 cause of issues out of Philmont. #1. It's not bears, it's not mountain lions, it's not the mini bears, and chipmunks and all that stuff. It's not broken ankle, it's dehydration. People don't drink enough. You need to be ingesting about 3-4 liters a day from the time you get up to the time you go to bed every day. And so if you don't, and that's a minimum. So if you don't, the more you work, the more you need water. So if you don't know how much you're drinking, and it's going to be a hard assessment to have, and they're just going to assume you're dehydrated. So first aid / personal first aid / hygiene / med kit. Adults are going to have more medications, ibuprofen and naproxen and all that junk, painkillers. It's nice to have stuff sacks to put this stuff in. These stuff sacks are, I don't know, $4, $5, $6 a piece. I've got all my medications that I take, ibuprofen. I got 1 or 2 allergy things I take. Stuff for my eyes, toothbrush, toothpaste, bug stuff. I have a little bit of activity-induced asthma every once in a while. When it's cold weather, I take an
Are the
inhaler.
kids allowed to carry medications like ibuprofen, Imodium AD, stuff like that?
In fact, they want scouts to medicate themselves.
Yes. I would recommend taking Imodium AD, some type of antacid, and some Advil.
I never leave home without Imodium AD or a big bag of ibuprofen.
Especially after Santa Fe chicken night.
That's right.
You will want the Imodium AD.
And so, if you want to, these are dirt cheap. In fact, I've got probably almost enough to outfit 2 crews.
I have some
I
too.
got pack tubes.
Oh, good Lord, there's 100 in here, so I know
Yeah.
I got enough.
I have
So
500.
these are little med bags. They're a lot better to take than ibuprofen in a bottle. One reason, they rattle like crazy, and they're probably going to drive everybody else in your crew nuts, because you've got a pack of Tic Tacs in your pack, and it's going to be annoying the crud out of everybody. So these don't make any noise, just as good as anything else. The reason you need to have this in a bag, and I like this little brain, they call it, that I've got on my pack, is because these are smellables, and we'll talk about more of that in a minute, but I leave just this in here, and we've all got a bunch of these now, so we're going to have to put our names on them, but these go up just in the bear bag, an oops bag, and you can just get everything out instead of having to rifle through your pack for that. Hand sanitizer, good. I bought like a case of this, so if anybody needs some and can't afford it, whatever, you can come to Barnes Donations and I'll give you a bottle of this. But it was cheaper to buy a case of it than it was 2 of them, and I needed it off of Amazon, so whatever. And I knew I'd use them. So hand sanitizer, I'm not going to get too graphic here. Go to the bathroom. You're sitting down to go to the bathroom as a guy, whatever. You need to use hand sanitizer after you're done. So ain't no sinks out there, folks. And this is another Sea to Summit product. This is what I would recommend, at least one. I'll probably take 2 of these. They're called wilderness wipes. If you're going to take any kind of wet wipe, it has to be fragrance free, and it has to be, if you're not going to pack it out, which
You don't want to pack it out.
you don't want to pack it out.
I'm not kidding.
and throw
There's
it
crew
away,
here.
and or throw it away at a staff camp. It needs to be biodegradable. If they're biodegradable, you can just drop these, and unscented, you can just drop them in the pit toilets, Kaibo, the Red Roof Inn, whatever, out there, and you're done with it. Fragrance free, because you don't want a bunch of pretty smelling stuff all over your skin that attracts bears. So these are really good. And I'm telling you, you take 2 of these into the Red Roof with you in the morning or in the evening or whatever. Start from head to toe. Enough said there, I think.
Let's do the face last.
And refresh yourself. And you wash your nether regions up with this. That's the reason I take 2 in. And so you wash your pits and your face with that. Feel like a new person. It really does help. And so that's kind of my morning routine. Not to get too personal, but it has to be scent-free and biodegradable wipes, or you got to pack it up.
You're also going to want to take either a small thing of Gold Bond, which you can get this at Walmart or almost any store carries this stuff, or some sort of Glide type stuff to cut down on any chafing. You're going to sweat some out there. I tend to sweat more than most people do for some reason, but you're going to want to carry something like that just to keep the chafing down. The last thing you want is a raw rear end, and you got 8 more days to go.
And I bought some stuff that worked really well. Did you like that for your
Oh, yeah, that was
grazing
good,
stuff?
yeah.
I thought this worked really well. I got I didn't chafe, but I got some tender skin in a personal place, not due to chafing, but anyway, had to do with the seam on my underwear. But I had to take care of that on Monday. You know, whatever. You need to talk about this stuff, right? So nobody said, well, you didn't tell me that. Well, you've been warned. So I bought some stuff. This is a company started by a scouter. For that very reason, they had some people that didn't like to go camping because they got chafed all the time, so they said there's got to be a better way. It's similar to Body Glide, but I think it works a little better. It's called Adventure Cream. You can get them in a tube, or you can get them in these little individual packets. I think it's just Adventure. There we go, adventurecream.com. It's done by a scouter out in Colorado. He's very nice. I sent him a review of just basically sent him a thank you. One, I knew he was a fellow scouter, and I knew he wanted feedback on his stuff. It's not that new of a company. It's been around for 50 years, but I knew he would appreciate fellow scouter feedback. And I just sent him a simple email. Didn't expect anything in return, and they just started manufacturing some 2-ounce tubes. So they say, hey, send me your address. I'll send you a free tube of this. I was like, hey, you don't have to do that, but I appreciate it. So nice guy, good company. I put that stuff on Monday, Monday evening, and then again Tuesday morning. Clear things right up, and I didn't have a problem the rest of the week using the same underwear I wore. So you need a stuff sack to put your food in. When we get into camp, first thing we do is we hang our food in pair bags, all right? This is 4 days of Philmont food for 2 people. This is 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 2 dinners. This is your worst case scenario. This bag is, I think, 20 inches by 11. Barely fits in here, so buy something that size or bigger. It does not have to be a dry bag. This is just a simple cinch sack with a top that closes. Doesn't have to be waterproof. This stuff is packaged in plastic, and then it's packaged in its own package, and then you put them up in a bear bag, so it's not going to get wet. Don't worry about it getting wet. It doesn't necessarily have to be waterproof. This is. Most of the stuff sacks you're going to get are somewhat waterproof. But the idea is get something, put your name on it. So the way we're going to put stuff up in bear bags, at least in my crew, I'm assuming in yours, or the crew that I'm the lead adult advisor in, Ethan's crew or Nick's crew, right? So the way we need to do things is, when you get into camp, you get all your junk out. This is all my food. I'm going to throw my food in a bear bag. We're going to have 4 or 5 bear bags when we get a big food drop. And it's not too bad putting it up. The deal is in the morning, you don't want to have to sort out, my word, that's so that's 6 times 6, that's 36 bags worth of junk. For the whole crew to sort stuff out in the morning. That's going to take you 30 minutes to sort stuff out. Everybody needs to have their food, including any personal snacks that you want to take. You're going to have to carry them. You can buy them at Backcountry Trading Post.
Where did we get that bag?
This is from Z-Packs. The other one's from MLD, Mountain Laurel Design.
Mountain Laurel Design had a pretty good size one, and it was relatively reasonable.
Bigger, it's like 14, 15 bucks.
Yeah.
And so buy something that's that size, 20 by 11. 20 inches long, 11 inch wide opening, or bigger to put your food into. Because what's going to happen in the mornings, we're going to get up about 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and we're going to, don't get too wide-eyed on the neck, 5:30 in the morning. Trust me, you'll be in bed by 8:30, and then you'll be in bed before the sun sets. You'll be so tired. And we were. And so in the mornings, when we get ready to pack up, we're going to get going quickly. We just want to throw food bags out. Hey, Barnes, here's yours. Take it. Go. Put it in your pack, put it with your stuff, get ready to pack up. We don't want to be sorting through food. So that's the only reason I brought the food bag there. Dry bags are going to be pretty important for your stuff, for your clothes. This is a dry bag. It's got a little buckle on it. What happens is this has even got instructions on it. So you roll it over. You want to make sure there's enough room in it. I think this is a 4-liter bag. Sea to Summit again, made out of silicone impregnated nylon, waterproof. You roll the top over 2 or 3 times. Now, you're not going to be able to submerge this at 30 feet for 6 days and be waterproof, but it's not going to get wet from rain or any rain that's gone through your pack or whatever. Because at some point in time, you're going to have to either throw junk in your tent or throw stuff out of your tent and pack up in the rain, almost guaranteed. If I were a betting man, I'd put a decent amount of money that you're going to be doing there. So I've got about 3 stuff sacks for my clothes. These are my sleep clothes. I'm taking a longer pair of socks, so I'll probably actually take 4 pairs of socks total. These are going to be my sleep socks. They're a little longer. I may or may not wear them the first night out on the trail. I did not wear them. The rest of the nights I did because it's a little cooler. If you can keep your feet and your hands warm, then the rest of your body will seem warmer, and your head. We'll get to that in a minute. But I've got socks. I may or may not wear those. I can also wear these with my shoes. So if I had a problem with my socks, whatever, bear ate one of them, or mouse got into one of them, or whatever, or I forgot my toilet paper, had to sacrifice a pair of socks. Well, you got to do whatever you got to do, right? So there's all kinds of stuff that you don't think about that might happen to your socks that you would never think of here. And so don't take a Walmart cotton pair of socks. Take something that'll work for you. And a longer pair of socks is going to be a little bit better if you're wearing these short socks like I'm going to. So a pair of lightweight, think Umbro soccer shorts, as light as you can go. Don't get something that weighs 9, 10 ounces. Don't take a pair of cargo shorts. Don't take anything real long. Just take something to cargo, just a pair of shorts to sleep in.
Basketball shorts are very heavy. Just try to weigh them. I mean, they're like 9, 10 ounces a pair. So that's a lot of weight to carry just to sleep in it. So something light.
And then a shirt. I would suggest taking a wicking shirt, not a cotton shirt. Again, your shirt gets destroyed somehow. We get attacked by a mountain lion, I'm in the back, and my shirt gets destroyed because I had to fight off the mountain lion and the bear to save you guys. So, hey, I got another shirt that I can wear. It might not be my crew shirt, but that's okay. I still got a shirt that I can put on top of all my mountain lion scratches, right? So these are things that are all in one stuff sack here. I don't want to get these wet. I can take off my other clothes and my clothes I'm hiking in, put those in there, put them in my pack. They're not going to want those in your tent probably. They're probably going to want those in your pack because more than likely guys are going to be rubbing food stuff on your clothes and all that stuff and attracting bears. So here's, and I like to get different colors because I can remember after a while what I've got in what. So these are my extra clothes I've got. There's an extra pair of socks, 2 pair of socks, another pair of underwear, and my other shirt. I'm taking 2 pair of underwear and 2 shirts to wear. Okay, that's all I'm taking. I wore one of these pair of underwear 3 days at Philmont. I wouldn't want to go to church in those the next morning and sit down next to somebody that was freshly showered. But you know what? It was okay. It was all right. You know, you probably didn't want to stick your head in my laundry bag after that, but it was okay. It worked.
Or any other time.
Right, or any other time. And so, you don't take a pair of underwear for every day, for whatever, for God's sake. We left on a Sunday. I changed underwear Wednesday morning, something like that. And
All right.
then whenever we left on, Roxanne, it's fine. It's all guys. Well, these details are important. So, and so then, I obviously put on a fresh pair after I showered and all that stuff. So we were gone from Sunday, got back Friday. I changed underwear once. It's synthetic. It's not like cotton. Synthetic stuff does not absorb odor and retain odor near as much. Plus, you have the opportunity out there to wash them out. There's places to do laundry. You can take just a real small stuff sack or even a gallon Ziploc bag and take and do laundry and wash them out, wash the grime out, hang them up. We'll have some rope and stuff where we make a clothesline. Probably be dry the next morning and you'll be good to go. And so I've got all my cold gear in here. I'm taking a hat. This is a down hat. You don't have to buy this. You can get a Under Armour. Makes a really nice coat gear, a beanie kind of a thing. Weighs about 1 ounce. Those are really good. I'm taking gloves. Because again, if you keep your feet and your hands warm, the rest of your body will be okay. The rest of your body will be warm. These are lightweight.
This is not a down hat. This is just a beanie. It's a Columbia. It can also serve as a disco ball if you need it to on the inside, but it reflects the heat and does just fine.
Yep. And then he's got a pair of gloves. If you just want to take a pair of brown jersey gloves,
Yeah.
those are fine. You don't have to go out and get all this, what are these, Spider or something. I caught some other ones on sale, North Face. Those are cheap. Glove liners, something like that. Anything just to keep your hands a little bit warm. We're not going snow skiing, but again, might get down into the upper 30s, lower 40s at night. Add a lot of warmth to your bag. This is an Under Armour long sleeve shirt. I'm just wearing that as a layer. I can wear that during the day or sleeping at night. This is a wind shirt. You'll need something to keep the wind off of you. It's windy out there all the time. If you want to count on your rain jacket as being your wind layer, then that's fine, but you're going to need something to keep the wind off of you. If you just get a fleece, which is really bulky, that'll work as far as an insulation layer, but it's not too good as a wind layer. So you need something to keep the wind off of you. This weighs like, I don't know, this weighs like 2 ounces.
What is that made out of?
I don't know. It's Mountain Hardware or something.
Not hardware.
Zips in its own pocket, looks like a trash bag. Yeah, Mountain Hardware or something.
Here you go.
Mountain Hardware makes a lot of lightweight stuff like that. And a pair of long johns, a pair of running tights. These are just a pair of icebreaker long johns. You probably won't need those a whole lot. I tell you what, you'll appreciate them if we're at a high elevation camp and it gets a little cold. Thunderstorm rolls through about 6 or 7 at night. It gets cold really quick out there. Adds 10 degrees to your sleeping bag. This is down jacket that I had. This is my insulation layer. Either take down something wool or fleece, probably in that order. Downside of that is it does not insulate very well when it gets wet. But as far as insulation to weight properties, it's the best out there. It's more expensive. They're making some stuff now out of Polartec that's really lightweight. It's a little bit less than these. You can get I bought Alex a down jacket at REI. REI Co-op started making their own gear. This their Co-op brand. I think it was about $100. And so, for a down jacket for somebody that's going to outgrow it, that wasn't too bad. So again, that's all my insulation layers that I've got. I've got the wind thing. I've got the down hat. I've got the gloves. All that stuff I wore in my tent. Some of it. And it was getting down into the upper 30s, and I was just fine. Again, a dry bag, because especially if you got something down, you don't want to get that wet. We've got about 5 minutes, and we'll be done here. Eating utensils. I've got a titanium bowl that's about, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks, I think, off of Amazon.
I would recommend not the squishy bowls, guys.
It's a Snow Peak or something like that.
That's something we learned.
And a titanium spoon, spork. You don't need a big long one like you use to eat out of the eat-in bag stuff. Just one of these simple short ones is fine. Mr. Miller has kind of an origami type bowl that snaps together, that rolls flat. It's pretty cool.
$5 a piece at Cabela's.
Yeah.
You get 2 of them. I'm going to carry 2 in case some of the snaps break out there 11 days. I don't want to, not be able to eat. So
it's important. Like I've got a spork like this. I think Mr. Easley had one like that. He was nice enough to bend his, but so we didn't have it. It's blue, just like his. We don't want to get them mixed up.
Didn't want to get his cooties on.
No, that's right. And so I've got a Dremel tool that's an engraver. We can engrave metal so we can put your initials on it so nobody gets cooties from each other. These two together were, I think, 25 bucks. This is like 7, 8, 9 bucks off of Amazon. REI makes them. Lots of time you get stuff cheaper off of Amazon. I think this whole thing was like 25 bucks. Squishy bowls, the reason I don't like the squishy bowls, I thought those were going to be good. The whole deal was you can turn it inside out, lick the inside, which is pretty important. Get your stuff as clean as you can before we wash it. But what happens is you're serving stuff with a big serving spoon, and the opening on those is pretty small. So it's really hard to get that big serving spoon in there. You're going to have a lot of food spillage. And plus, you have to put those up in the bear bags at night because the silicone retains the smells of food. And so they want you to put those up in the bear bag.
I like this. When I'm done eating with it, I unsnap it, flatten,
Yep. There you go.
just lick it clean.
And so we can, I might even, as Scoutmaster for our crew, I don't know if your crew leader is going to be that nice or not, I might just get everybody one of those MSR scrapers. They're like $2 or $3. They don't weigh anything. Put your initials on it. Scrape your bowl out. It's going to be really important to scrape everything out, and you'll realize that whenever we get to our Philmont eating training. So I got 2 more things. I got my tent in here. We're not going to go over the tent. I got 2 or 3 things. So sleeping pad, you got to have a sleeping pad. Either closed cell foam like Mr. Miller has. This is awesome, I think. It's a Big Agnes, a little expensive. Big Agnes Q-Core SLX. It's about 130 bucks on sale. Best night's sleep I've ever had on a backpacking trip ever. But I don't sleep well on those. Mr. Miller's back is used to those. Mine is not at all.
One thing I like about this is if there's nothing to get a hold in, so I don't have to worry about blowing it up at high altitude. I just throw it in the bottom of my tent. Again, it's what you want to be comfortable. How comfortable do you want to be?
You can't walk in the morning, but that's...
Yeah.
No, you're not going to be, just get your brain around, you are not going to be as comfortable as you are on a car camping trip, like a regular troop camping trip, or much less at the house. You're going to have some discomfort. So, suck it up, get used to it. We're out in the wilderness. We're being mountain man for a week.
These are about $35 at REI.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're not very expensive.
So some kind of a pillow. I know Mr. Inman doesn't like these blow-up pillows. These are a little expensive, really lightweight. X-Ped brand. That's a little blow-up pillow.
I carry the same thing.
Yeah, and so I've even got a little, this is one of my luxury things, it weighs about an ounce. It's a little down stuffed satiny type of material that makes me feel like home. And so that's my comfort thing. My sleeping bag's in here. So again, if you're gonna get a down sleeping bag, you've gotta have a dry bag. You do not want to get your sleeping bag wet at all. That gets into a, for real, dangerous situation there with hypothermia. And I would suggest a down bag. They're a little expensive, but as far as compressibility, I mean, I can compress this thing down a little bit lower. Alex has a 20-degree bag from REI. It doesn't compress down quite as big. Compression sack like that, again, from sea to summit. It's a waterproof stuff sack. Keep the water off of that. It's probably made out of either even or silicone impregnated nylon. There you go. We'll keep that dry. A couple of other things as far as
What degrees you got on your bags? Are those all 20?
Mine's a 40-degree quilt, but I sleep really hot.
30.
I would recommend, Philmont recommends 20. You will absolutely get by with what they say. 20-degree bag. Depends on how you sleep. I think it's a little warm. 30-degree, I think I'll be fine.
If you do a 30 with a silk liner, that adds about 10 degrees to it. So
This is a 25. I never zip it up.
Yep.
Ever.
And so it's going to be summertime out there, depending on where we're at on elevation, depending on how cold it's going to get.
Or zero.
Philmont recommends 20-degree. Mr. Easy carries a 0-degree bag, but he sleeps really cold. I bought Alex a 20-degree bag because he's thin. He sleeps really cool. So if at night in the summertime you're covered up with 3 layers worth of covers, you probably want a 20-degree bag. If you're like me and all I can sleep with, even with the air conditioner on in our house, is 72 degrees in the summer, my mind thinks it's hot outside, and in the wintertime I'll get under quilt. And it's usually the same temperature. I sleep under sheets, so I sleep really hot, so I know my body. So I wouldn't recommend a 40-degree bag for everybody. I got a system, I know it works, I tested it out. Probably 30 degrees, probably about the good middle for scouts, depending on how you sleep. 2 other things as far as your med kit I didn't cover. You absolutely want to take some chapstick of some sort. It is very dry up there. The air is very dry. You'll be breathing through your mouth a lot. That adds more to it. And the dryness.
Something with sunscreen in it.
Your lips will be bleeding by the end of the trek if you don't take some chapstick, and you'll be buying some at the backcountry trading post. If you are prone to nosebleeds, take some saline nasal spray. I carried this and chapstick right here. I snorted that stuff all the time to keep my nasal passages a little moisturized, and it worked well for me. I know Mr. Miller got a nosebleed one day, maybe because we were sucking in so much air, but I don't know, that was on the way to fish camp. A compass, something like this, lightweight. Go to the scout shop, get something lightweight like this. You don't need a military grade compass. You need something that does north, south, east, west. That's it out there to find your direction, orient yourself on a map. This is really lightweight. You don't need anything fancy. You certainly do not need an electronic that uses battery. Last thing's a knife. This is all you need. You need a knife that has a blade. For God's sakes, don't bring a Swiss Army knife. You don't need a Swiss Army knife. We will have a Leatherman in the multi-tool of some sort in the crew kit and the crew bag for repairs and things like that. So you do not need a multi-tool. We will have one for each crew.
You also need a flashlight of some sort.
Sorry, headlamp.
Something small. A headlamp also works well, or both. I carry both. Also, if it requires extra batteries, you want to make sure you bring those. A lot of that stuff's not available in the backcountry, so you're going to want to carry it with you. This one uses a camera battery. I think I've had this flashlight 4 years. I've replaced the battery 1 time. AA batteries are fine too. Again, you're going to carry a little bit of weight with it, but you do need a good flashlight. It's dark out there. And at some point, we're going to have we'll have part of a moon or a full moon. Also, we could run into a time where there's no moon and there is no electric lights out there. It is dark.
So a good, strong headlamp, 100 lumens or above, a couple hundred is good, that allows you to eat and do things, set up the tent, take it down. It's dark and all that stuff, because more likely we're going to have several times we're going to be taking down our stuff when it's dark out. If you have a blow-up pad or anything like that, you're going to want to take some kind of a repair kit. I've got some safety pins, some tenacious tape, some Velcro, super glue, some zip ties and stuff like that in my personal kit. This is probably more along the lines of a crew type of a repair kit. Everything in here is really lightweight. But if you've got a sleeping pad or something like that, you need to bring stuff to repair. I mean, your sleeping pad. You need to bring something to repair an inflatable sleeping bag. Don't come to me and assume Mr. Barnes is going to give you some patch on second day, because you know what? I might need that patch. It's not my problem. You're not prepared. It's just the reality. I might share a little bit. It's a little hole, but if you got a big rip or something, you're going to need something to repair your own gear with. You need to be self-sufficient and be comfortable with your gear, be able to repair it, and all that stuff. You probably don't need as big as a repair kit as this is. You know, I've got some small zip ties, like I said, Velcro to hold stuff together, some tape, some things that are lightweight. Certainly don't have a big roll of duct tape. You do not need a roll of duct tape and all that stuff in there in your repair kit.
I wouldn't even take duct tape because it's considered a smellable and it's got to go up in the bear bag.
And more than likely, from what you guys did on our, that's a good point. I don't have mine in there. So it's another couple ounces. But one of the things you'll need, you guys express an interest in going to Baldy. If we're going to go up Baldy, that's a day hike. You probably don't want to take your full pack. You probably want to have some sort of a little cheap. Some of them aren't so cheap, but that was my friend. Is that
This is Cedar Summit. Yeah.
So Cedar Summit, that weighs like 2 or 3 ounces. And this isn't going to haul a big load. It zips into itself, but it's enough to put snacks in. You're going to need a little bit of food. You're going to need a little bit of some water to get up and down Baldy.
Jacket or
And a jacket, rain gear, and all that stuff. So unless you want to carry your empty pack, which is fine, you can do that. It'll be heavier, probably a little bit more awkward to carry without a whole lot of weight in it. Don't bring a book bag. That needs to be packable in your pack. I've seen some crews where scouts got a regular pack on, and they've got a day pack in front. My Lord, it looks like the 82nd Airborne going somewhere on a drop, on a mission. You don't need that kind of stuff. You need something, and that's not going to be that comfortable. Just deal with it.
No, it's not.
Just embrace the discomfort as a part of the journey. And so you're going to have some discomfort with that. Load up a little water, a little food, rain gear, and we'll summit Baldy, come back down, take it off, be all good. Yes, Karen. Yeah, drawstring bag
Use a
would.
drawstring bag.
That's probably going to be a little bit more uncomfortable than that is. But yeah, something to carry: rain gear, some food, water. That's what you're going to need.
Yep.
All right, we ran way over. We got started late. Eating.
Backpacks?
And so yeah, obviously a backpack, whatever fits for you. We kind of covered backpacks the last time. Again, you know, this is a lot of volume. My stuff is not a lot of volume and so don't think that you're going to get your bag and all that stuff. You know, this is all I'm taking. Your volume is probably going to be a little bit different. I've spent probably too much money on all this stuff. Depends on who you ask. Anyway, it's all relative. So I'm carrying it. So it's all good. So this is lighter weight stuff. Lighter weight gear compacts a little bit better. Pay attention to what you're bringing, and you can get. So Mr. Miller's stuff's not that much more than I've got. But remember, this is as much volume as the rest of my junk takes up just about. So don't shortchange yourself on volume. 65-liter pack is probably as small as I would go for scouts.
Because we have crew gear on top of it, guys. Pots, stoves.
And I'm not part of the crew.
Right,
You
ropes.
guys are the crew. Now, we might be, since we only have 6 scouts per crew right now, we might be talked into carrying a stove or something lightweight or something fairly compact. If you guys are going to be having pots, you're going to be having fuel, dining fly, bare ropes, and bare bags, and some water bladders. You're going to need a little extra volume for that, plus your extra gear. So 65 liters, 70 liters is not bad. I probably wouldn't go much above 70 liters because that's just going to be more space, and the more space you have, the more likely you're going to fill it up. So Osprey's a really good brand. I think Osprey from everything I've looked at, and I've looked at just about every modern mainstream manufacturer out there, this stuff is boutique stuff. This takes a month to get. You can't buy this except off a website, and it's custom ordered. But if you're not going that route, which I don't expect you to at all, I think Osprey is probably the best weight to volume ratio that I've seen out there. They're really good packs too. Tooth Time sells them, Scout Shop sells them, REI, Alpine Shop. If you haven't gotten a pack yet, I would highly suggest you go to either REI or Alpine Shop, get measured. Because I think, like I said in a previous video, my torso is about 19 and a half, almost a 20, close to it. Mr. Emmons is about 2 inches taller than I am. He's got like what, a 17-inch torso. So, if you're going out and buying a pack, you'd think he'd at least take a large. and I might take a medium. I take a large, he probably takes a medium pack. So you need to get fitted. There's all kinds of different resources. Basically, you measure from that big cervical bone where your neck joins to your spine down to your hips. That's your torso length. And so a lot of these packs are adjustable. Mine's not that adjustable. This is a little adjustable. This one's very adjustable. They're medium small. So a lot of the packs today have a ladder system on this adjustable. But go and get measured. If I had to just pick a pack for every scout out there, I'd probably recommend you get an Osprey 70-liter pack. They weigh about 3 pounds. This weighs about a pound something. But that's a really durable pack. Doesn't have a lot of weight restrictions on it. The thing about these boutique things is this is rated to carry about 40 pounds. That's it. You guys might be pushing that or a little bit more, depending on how lightweight your gear is. So 1.5, and we're way over time. 1.5 is all they're doing is pretty easy.
You will need some trekking poles. I strongly encourage you to get these. These are Black Diamond. There are other good brands out there. I like a cork handle. Doesn't mean you have to have one.
I would recommend it though, because it prevents blisters. The
Prevents
rubber
blisters.
handles will give you blisters.
These were $100 at REI.
There's a really good pair on Amazon that I picked up. The ones I used, they're composite and they were $39.
Yeah, see?
They're
Yeah.
rated.
Yeah, Target even sells some, but you know, I would highly recommend cork versus rubber.
They have
because,
cork.
the rubber has too much friction on it, and you'll get blisters.
Camp Saver has a 20% coupon right now too.
So websites to go to. If you go on the, and say this, then we'll shut up. Sam's probably getting irritated, but if you go on the Troop website, I put a ton of information out there on the backpacking page. There's a bunch of links to probably every gear manufacturer I have up here, plus some other ones. Gives you links to just about all the major gear manufacturers out there. Gives you some hints and tips and clues about a little bit of lightweight philosophy and this and that. If you got any questions, make sure you come to one of the adults, or if you need any clarification or whatever. I thought it'd be good tonight to just go through every piece of gear instead of, hey, you need one of these, or you might want to think about this. So specific things, some things that I threw out that I thought would work well, didn't work for the hoop at Philmont. Certainly wasn't satisfied with them. We tried to save some weight using some different rope for our oops bag. That didn't work. We tossed that, and so it's good to find out those things. Well worth the trip just to find out those things. So
I've got my list of things to take all typed up. I got to clean it up just a little bit, and I'll send it to you, Jamie, if you can throw it out there for folks to use. You know, there's going to be some things that will obviously be things that I'm just going to carry because I want to, but it'll give you kind of a basis to work from.
you know, we just went to this Philmont Advisor School again, what, a couple weeks ago, something like that. And you know, one of the troops there was kind of making fun of the two guys from Philmont because they were asking about specific gear things. Like, well, it's really a matter of personal preference, and they said that like 3 or 4 times, like boots, you know, high top boots, or you know, well, it's personal preference. All this stuff is personal preference. There's no brand, you know. There's categories. You know, you need rain gear. There's got to be a rain suit, pants, and jacket. Buy a good rain jacket. That would be my recommendation. What brand? If you want to know what brands I think are good, you know, what is it, Marmot Precip jacket. Those are really good. About $150. Do you want to buy a $150 rain jacket for your Scout? I don't know. That's up to you. But I wouldn't recommend buying a $20 Frog Talk jacket. So somewhere in the middle, maybe you could buy a $300 jacket. It'll work just fine. You buy a $100 jacket on sale, it'll work just fine. So backcountry gear, backcountry Edge, a lot of those have stuff on sale all the time. You can catch them on sale for the holidays, I know.
They have coupons all the time.
Yeah, coupons.
Always
Sign up
look
for their
coupons.
Yeah, sign up for the newsletter, get a 20% coupon, et cetera, et cetera. So if you watch and being frugal, Camp Saver, Sierra Designs, all those links, all those things are on the backpacking info website on page on the.
I'd say at least once a month you get a coupon from one of them.
So backcountry gear just had another sale. They got these on sale. These sleeping things.
Keep in mind that fitting for boots, fitting for a pack is going to take time. Don't run into REI and hope you could be out of there in 30 minutes. It's not going to work. Well, my wife plans for about 6 hours, but you probably won't need that much time. But plan to spend 2 to 3 hours there getting your boots and your pack fitted, just so that you get the right stuff. When the guy at REI says, hey, you want to put some weight in the pack? Yes, you do. They have some stuff, just heavy weight that they'll put in the pack give you a chance to walk around the store in that pack and make sure it's comfortable for you. You're going to be living out of it for 11 days. And that's a long time. It doesn't sound like a long time, but it really is a long time.
Don't go to REI and tell them you need a backpack to go to Philmont, and they'll load you up with a 75-liter pack. You don't need a 75-liter pack to go to Philmont. Alpine Shop, a little bit different because they've got a lot of folks. They even do a I'm going to Philmont packing thing every year. So they're a little bit more scout aware than REI is. But just go in there and tell them you want to get into backpacking and you need a backpack probably about 65, 70 liters. It helps fit you. If they ask you and nail you down, are you going to Philmont? It's like, well, yeah, probably one of these days. That's not a that's not a lot. So be honest. But if they ask you when you're going, then you got to tell them to fess up. But if they're that interested, they're probably not going to saddle you with a 75 or 80 liter pack. You tell them scouts in Philmont, they'll hold you up to the biggest thing that they've got.
All right.
Got any questions? Email me. Email any of the adults on the crew. We can set you up.